All right, what is good, everybody? It's your guy Rez, and I am back again with another dope segment of this episode or series that I don't really have an official name for. But, like always, when I do go on here, I have a very special guest. And today, as you see right here on my camera side, I have a very special guest. And for those of you guys who don't know, but you probably heard of the brand, we have the wonderful people over at 5TENCO. I didn't even get your name, bro. My bad. What's your name?
All good. My name is Justin, and I'm the owner of 5TENCO. It's just me, one guy.
Okay, one guy. So for those of you who don't know, 5TENCO is basically a brand that specializes in a lot of like lifestyle and hoop shorts, and they add a lot of twist of like fashion, of like some styles from like basketball eras and things of that nature. But a really dope product. I actually have a few of their product, and it's phenomenal. It's a great product. But I don't want to be doing all the introduction, man. Why don't we start off by having you just tell us about yourself and kind of what you do with the brand and whatnot.
Right on. Well, with the brand, I do everything top to bottom. I do the designs. I build the website. I run the inventory. I quality control everything. I get the things shipped out. I do all the back end stuff, all the dirty work on Instagram all day long, customer service. And it's been just me this whole time doing the whole thing, and that's pretty much what I do with the brand.
That's what's up. Man. How long have you been doing this? And were you doing something else before this, or is this something that you've always been doing?
Well, my job is a graphic designer. I'm a graphic designer in a different industry, though. I do branding and marketing and graphic design for a cannabis company based out in Concord, California. And before that, I had just done freelance work for other companies, basically in the cannabis industry. But I've been graphic designing for fun since about 2001, 2002. Back then, I would design some shirts. I would take you'll like this because you're a Jersey guy.
Yeah.
I would take jerseys. This is like 2001. I would take jerseys, like say the Lakers. I'd take a home and away jersey, and I'd cut them down the middle and then stitch them together to have the home and away on front and back, and also in the front. But as far as like head on in fashion, this is like the first time that I've ever done this. So I learned everything from the ground up, and I've only been doing this since about February of 2020 is when I started like doing mock-ups and making my own designs.
I've seen your work from the websites, like the IG and stuff like that. And I actually found out about you through other brands that do similar work. Really drew me to your stuff was that you added a different element to it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one thing if you have a pair of Chicago Bull shorts, from the 90s era, but it's another thing when you add some twist to the bull or just overall the color palettes. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like you like really stretch out the theme of that team. And that's what I like about it, because you take risk and it seems to work. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. We could definitely talk more about that. Where are you based out of? Are you from the Bay too, or?
Yeah, I was born in Palo Alto, raised in Hayward. I spent 20 years in Hayward, and then I moved around. Right now I'm in Livermore. But Hayward was still, that's where I grew up. So on my inside of my shorts, it doesn't say made in Livermore. It says made in Hayward. So yeah, Bay Area my whole life, currently in Livermore.
East Bay, huh? I can respect
East
it.
East Bay.
Seems like a lot of creative people come from the East Bay, man. That's what's up.
yeah, man. In all industries too, in all industries. In music, Bay Area has a lot of influence over the in hip hop culture, especially has a lot of influence that the Bay doesn't really ever get credit for. Yep. Hip hop culture and fashion being those two industries where we set a lot of trends, but you never really hear anything about it.
Yeah, I hear you. One of the questions I wanted to ask was like, I know you kind of touched on this question already, but like, what drove the brand to like get created? Like, was it a person? Was it a specific like era, in fashion, because like, like for the Jersey game, there was a huge boom in the 2000s era, like where everybody seemed to be wearing jerseys, a lot of hip hop artists and stuff like that. And of course, Fabulous, Jay-Z, Ludacris, like all these dudes, and that's kind of partly how I got into the Jersey game too, was like looking at these artists on, you know, music videos wearing like a really dope thread of jerseys, man. I'm like, yo, what is that? But like, what drove you and the brand to kind of like do this? Was it like somebody or, you know, a specific event? How'd that go about?
Well, initially it was what got my interest just in basketball shorts in a fashion sense was just the fact that that's the trend that popped up. I first noticed LeBron wearing a pair of Just Don shorts. Don C just takes NBA shorts and then, you know, puts the team name on the front of the shorts and embroidery. And I just messed with the whole vibe. You know, basketball has been my life since I was like 12 years old. I just really, one, it's comfortable to wear, but I just love the trend. I love the trend so much. And through Just Dawn, I found Jerry Lorenzo, you know, Fear of God. They're the ones that brought these long drawstrings, the long like polyester firm drawstrings and the pockets on the side with the zippers. Fear of God really did that. And then through that, I came across other local brands like Collect and Select. They were Trillist at the time when I had found them. I didn't have any interest in making anything like that, but how I've always worked as a graphic designer is when I get inspired by something and I get an idea, I'll just start designing something like mock-up. So I initially was doing mock-ups just for fun for other brands. And I had posted them to my personal social media and a lot of my friends were like, hey, are you gonna make these shorts? And I was like, I don't know how to make shorts. I don't even know where to start with that. But I got a lot of encouragement from people to do so.
Yeah.
So I think when the pandemic hit, it was just perfect timing. And I said, you know what? Let's just try it out. And I got such a good response with the first shorts that I dropped. It was like, okay, let's see what we can do with this.
Product that you put out, man, is just like, it's kind of crazy to hear you say that because it's like trying on the pair that you sent me, man, for the care package of the Iverson shorts. It's just like, yo, this is some good quality, man, for somebody who's you know, just kind of trying to start the brand and, you know, really get your foot in the door, man. It's like it seemed like you've been doing this for many years, and it shows, man, with your experience and knowledge. I don't have a brand, you know, I don't have a business or anything like that, but I've always been fascinated with people who go out and grind like you guys do. What does it take to start a brand? Because it's obviously something that anybody could say they can do, but it's another thing when a person says it and actually does the work, does the research, uses, exhausts all resources.
I can only talk from my personal experience, and from my personal experience, it takes drive and hustle. Like it's gotta be something that you really, really want to do because there's gonna be a lot of pitfalls. For me personally, I didn't know anything about anything. I didn't know that there was different mesh types. I didn't even know what to call those mesh types. I didn't know the materials that I wanted on shorts. I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know exactly what the materials were called. I didn't know the first thing about putting a design to a template and having to get the sizing correct and all of that. So there was a lot of time and money and failure that because like I started in February, but I didn't drop a pair of shorts until October. I got so many sample pairs back that were just not up to par of what I wanted, and I didn't want to put out crap. You know what I mean? So for me, so if anyone wanted to start a brand, what it takes is drive and hustle. Don't quit because things get hard. Things don't turn out the way that you want them to turn out. But if you have a vision and a goal and you don't give up, you know, you'll get to where you want to go because you're going to run into all of that stuff, you know, especially if you didn't know anything about it like myself. I get so many messages in my DMs just straight up asking me for my manufacturer. And I don't give that away. When I first started, I have a lot of friends who are friends with my other competitors in the Bay Area, and I would go to them and be like, "Hey, can you ask those guys for this, that, and third?" And I'd always get, you know, they wouldn't give anything at all, and I used to feel some type of way about that, like, "Oh, you don't want to see someone else come up, you don't want to help somebody, you should help somebody." But my perspective changed because I had to find it the hard way, so I appreciate it a little more now. You know what I mean? So when people ask me for certain things, I point them in the direction. I don't ignore them, but I point them in the direction and let them figure out the rest. Because if they really want it, they'll figure it out and they'll eventually, you know, start their brand.
A lot of like brands, you know, like I'm just gonna use Collect and Select as an example.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's stuff that they put out. I'm not trying to throw any jabs or anything, but I feel like the stuff that they put out is different, but it seems to be like a lot of the same type of stuff. So I'm gonna use, Sabs, and then they have Who Cares Supply, and then like those are three different people, if I'm not mistaken. You could correct me if I'm wrong, because you probably know those guys in the same industry that you're in. But like,
Yeah.
just to use the example, the whole bandana, the palsy like look and stuff, like you see a lot of NBA stars use it, but it's just kind of got to the point now where it's just kind of seemed a bit oversaturated, in my opinion. So when you're putting stuff out like that, it's just like, it's different. Like you're kind of grabbing those elements, as I mentioned before, like you're grabbing these elements, but you're stretching it and you're thinking a little bit outside the box, and I'm not knocking, Collect and Select by no means, because I have a lot of their product. I have a lot of Sav's product, but I also have some of your product. The one thing I will say is that your stuff sells out crazy fast, man. Like I've tried to get my hands on a couple of things, and it sold out, or I'll have to hit you up like, yo, are we gonna get a restock? So the first pair that I fell in love with what you brought out was the Enter the Mamba ones. That's when I found out about 5TENCO and what you do. Insanity shorts were super dope, but unfortunately those released before I found out about you and what you guys do. But I keep saying you guys, it's just you. But what are some of the pitfalls like that you encountered, running the brand and stuff? Because obviously you said that there's a lot of challenges, there's going to be a lot of like money spent on things that might have not gone to the right place or whatever.
Yeah.
What are things that you've experienced and challenged as a brand?
Man, there's a lot that comes up. Can I backtrack a little bit? Because we talked a little bit about the design process and the differences in design. Well, one thing I didn't want to do, because obviously if you pay attention or if you're on Instagram a lot, you see that there's a ton of short companies out there right now, or a ton of people making shorts. And one thing you do see a lot of is a lot of the paisley look that you were talking about. Like I see that everywhere now. I see the paisley look. I see there's a guy, I think he's out of New York, Eric Emanuel. He does some dope shorts too, but a lot of people kind of are, I wouldn't say copy, I don't want to use that word, but they're inspired by him and they kind of go for the same look. Now, obviously my short, I was heavily inspired by Trillis. That was the first mock-ups I was doing, was like, what if they came out with some Iverson shorts? What would that look like? Type of stuff. And I just loved how they felt and all that kind of stuff. So I'll never knock those guys. I think their paisley shorts are dope. You know what I mean? They really hit the Laker ones was, I think, the first ones that they did. So it makes sense for them to keep, when things sell out like that, it's hard not to keep putting stuff out. You know what I mean? But one thing I wanted to do was I know I released a black pair of answers and then I released a white pair of answers. I didn't want to do that at first. I wanted to wait. I wanted to put out new designs every single time. Bam, 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 bam. But then I had got a new manufacturer and I was super happy with their product. I was like, let me just see what it would look like if I use the same one. And the white ones just came out dope. So yeah. I get a lot of love on those ones, man. The white ones are awesome. They just look cool. But one thing I wanted to do when I started this was I did want to kind of think a little more outside the box, just because I'm in the same lane as a lot of other people. And it's very easy to be lazy with your ideas. Not lazy, but there's low-hanging fruit, right? Can be somewhat creative, but it's not that creative. So you might see someone else put out a pair of shorts that you've already designed. And I've had that happen to me multiple times. I did a pair of piston shorts before and I never dropped them because my brother said they didn't look good. But the design, and then someone else released the exact same pair to the T. And so it was good that I didn't do that because, well, one, it let me know that the design wasn't that creative. You know what I'm saying? So like with the Enter the Mamba shorts, obviously I took the Lakers, I guess you'd say they're panels. Like it's just the Laker panel, from the 90s. And then I put the Bruce Lee scratches on it. I put the Jeet Kune Do Chinese symbols on there because Bruce Lee practiced Jeet Kune Do. That was his martial art. And I just try to do little things like that. You know what I mean? Like I have a pair of Raptor shorts no one's seen that are like heavily not influenced, but it's like Raptors and Jurassic Park that no one's seen. But I try to take little things like that. You know what I mean? Like I think there's things that you can marriage things with that come out dope if you can execute it right. And luckily I put things out and the response has been well. Because every time I put something out, man, I'm very nervous. every single time, bro, because you don't know what the response is going to be. So even like with the Celtic shorts that I did with all the clovers on them,
Actually have them right
like, yeah, it was something very simple, and I wasn't sure what people were going to say. I loved them personally.
Yeah.
But the feedback was dope, bro. I get hit up about those all the time. When you restocking those, and those are the ones that are inspired by the Magic jerseys with the star. But I was super nervous when I put those out, man.
Damn.
Every single time I'm nervous because I don't know what people are gonna say. But I'm getting a little more confidence because everyone has been so supportive and everything's been going well.
This pair, I think, next to the Mamba ones are probably my favorite. I have those two plus the Irison ones you sent me, and all the pairs, man, I've been really satisfied with. They're very comfy. I like how you did with the inside where it's just like really soft.
The liner.
The liner, yeah, it's just real soft, man. And not to say that like the Mamba ones were uncomfortable or anything like that, but like, yo, this is just like a really different type of comfort when you're wearing these. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, season one had different. It was a little heavier mesh. The inside was also a mesh that was kind of rough. The trim was polyester and it had like a deep V cut on it. So when I went into season two, I just knew that there was upgrades to be made, and I wanted to make sure that I got those upgrades. And I found a manufacturer. One thing I am proud about is my trim on my shorts, especially season two, bro. Like, I quality control every single pair that comes in, man. The benefit of being, the benefit of being a small brand. Look at that.
Super clean.
Yep. The benefit of being a small brand is I get to QC everything. Like, I open it up and I inspect every single pair of shorts, all the way down to little threads hanging out, and I'll cut them and yada, yada, yada. It's a long process it takes for me to actually ship the shorts out. But that's one thing I pride myself on. And with the trim, I don't have to do anything ever. Every single pair that I've gotten from my manufacturer is just perfect, bro. There's no mistakes. There's no overlap with the actual short and the trim. Like they're completely here, I got the Rockets one right here. Oof. Like, you'll see, if there were mistakes, you'd see like some of the mesh from the actual short, like from the design, popping out the bottom or something like that. And that never has that. Everything is just very impeccable. And that's one thing that I wanted to do, and I'm proud of myself for that, is that we upgraded the quality, or I upgraded the quality this season, man. And I've been pretty happy with it. Pretty satisfied, because I wasn't that satisfied with season one, but season two I've been pretty satisfied with.
The adjustments that you made, because you said you made some upgrades for season two. Was this based on feedback that you were hearing from your customers, or was this just something that you personally felt like, you know what, I wasn't really fond of this, I'm gonna change it?
It was mostly my own. People were very happy with the product. They loved it. They said they were comfortable, yada, 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 all of that stuff. Actually, the feedback I did get was the sizing. It was a little slimmer in season one. So I did change that. The leg openings are wider in season two. I did listen to my customers on that. But as far as like the changes that I made, I used a lighter mesh for the actual short, and then the trim, I used a double rim trim, and then the liner, the soft liner, that was something that was all me. Oh, I take that back. Someone had suggested that the pockets were not deep enough in season one. So I ended up extending the pockets by like maybe 2 or 3 inches, because people's phones, and that was something I was dealing with too. Like, my phone would fall out my pocket in the car. Mm-hmm. So I definitely listen to the insight and listen to what my customers have to say to make improvements, for sure.
And that's one thing I do want to say and commend you for, is because you're very responsive, like, especially on the gram, man. Like, I'll send you a message about something, and then I'll be like, yeah, he'll probably get back to me in a couple of days, and then boom, like literally like 5 minutes later, you respond right away. I'm like, damn, and that's kind of cool, man. That's what I really respect about a lot of small businesses and like mom and pop shops, is that they actually care, about the quality and product that they put out. I'm just going to use an example of Mitchell and Ness, because they were a brand, and I still buy their stuff. I still support them and stuff like that. But that whole like relationship of like having a mom and pop shop has just totally gone out the window, like, for them. And I understand why. It's just because now they've just gone so mainstream to the point now where it's just like they don't even really pay attention to like the little people, you know what I'm saying? Like I review, like you've seen my channel on YouTube, like I review their stuff almost regularly. There was one instance where I ordered a Randy Moss
I
Minnesota
saw that
whiskey
episode.
from them, and they sent it to me brand new with stains. And I was like, I was heated because I paid, like Mitchell and Ness jerseys are not cheap, you know what I mean? So I
They are not.
paid, I paid for the jersey, and I was like, yo, like, you know, what's going on? Sent them an email. I messaged them on Facebook and everything, and I didn't hear back. I tagged them on IG, and I had to open a claim through PayPal to get my money back. But you know, it's stuff like that that really does turns me away from the brand and stuff like that. You know, like I get it. You know, there's gonna be mistakes and there's gonna be things that might not pass quality control that got passed and they shouldn't have. But that's what I appreciate with you and what you do is that, you know, you actually listen to what the people say. You know, and I'm sure you would make things right if something did go wrong or something went
Oh
south.
yeah.
What a
No, there's always, dude. I don't even. There's a lot of things in the background that people don't know about, obviously. And it would be douchey of me to like post all of the, hey, I helped this customer out with this and this customer with that. You know what I mean? But I do understand how important it is to build and maintain a relationship with your customers. But I also understand the flip side of like you can get too big, just certain sacrifices that you have to make. And I'm sure a company like Mitchell and Ness, they're not going to QC every single product. They're going to ship it out because let's say they shipped out 3,000 Randy Moss jerseys and 5 of them came back dirty. They're not going to give a shit because they sold, 2,950 of them, or however many I said, 5. So they don't really care to. Pardon me for cursing. My bad about that.
nah, you're good.
Don't care, but they make so much money that it doesn't matter if 1 or 2 are
Yeah.
messed up. You know what I mean? Even though they have the money to hire people to designate that work to, but it's overhead, it's things like that. And then when a company's not making that much money, you might have to let that department go. So I understand both, and that's one thing that I'm gonna try my hardest to do as I grow and grow and grow is to maintain the quality and maintain that relationship. Because it's hard, man. I'm on my phone all day to keep that going. Like I respond to everybody that fast.
And you know, like I get it, you know, as being like a CEO of a businessman, there's only so much you can oversee, you know, and you want to put your faith in, you know, with team in the departments that you're hiring to make sure that everything goes smooth, you know. I guess it's just that like for me to actually like support the brand when it was what it was, you know, when they had their shop out on Chestnut Street in Philly, you know, like it's different now. It's definitely a different type of vibe, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
um it is what it is. I mean, I still buy their stuff, you know, I still put their stuff out there, I still tag them and everything. So going back to your brand, like what are some of the like pitfalls that you've encountered steering the ship?
Most of the pitfalls that I've come across, like manufacturer errors, manufacturer delays, things that I never accounted, because I do the pre-order thing. So customs delays, things that I didn't account for, color coding, colors not coming out the way that you design it because I didn't know anything about, because it's different than the computer. Things don't turn out the way that you put on the computer first when they
Yeah.
get printed to the mesh or to the material. Yeah, I mean, even tags. I actually had my Sun shorts were delayed because customs were trying to keep my shorts, all of them, dude.
Oh man.
Every single pair. They were like, we're not sending these to the United States because it didn't say made in Pakistan on it. This is pre-order, so everyone's already paid. So
Yeah.
I was freaking out, man. I was losing it. Those were things that I didn't account for, that I didn't know about. Luckily, over there, the laws and rules are bendable, if you got a little bit of money. So,
Of course, man.
so they let them go. But yeah, most of the pitfalls are manufacturer errors and things like that. The taxes and all those things. I don't know if that's a pitfall, but that's something that I had to learn about.
When you get stuff shipped over here to the States, is there like a commercial invoice or stuff? Like, because it's funny because I actually fill out commercial invoices at work because I work at Adobe. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, we ship out a lot of stuff. Yeah, I let people know what my day job is, but we ship out a lot of stuff to people all around the world. And when it's stuff like that needs to go overseas, we got to fill out like they call it a commercial invoice. But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, they send me they send me an invoice. The manufacturer sends me an invoice. I don't have to fill it out or anything though.
Oh, okay.
It's nothing like that. It's just for my own personal records to have an invoice.
Yeah.
The payment is through Western Union and stuff like that. So
Man, it's
yeah,
crazy you mentioned Western Union because I actually got scammed.
that's why
I don't want to
Western
digress.
Union's.
Yeah, I don't want to digress about it, but I will say this: I don't ever send Western Union to anybody or money order unless I personally know the person and where they live and all their whereabouts and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, no, I mean that was one of my concerns with the manufacturers. They all want Western
Damn.
Union, because you find them on Alibaba, right?
Yeah,
Like that. Are you familiar with that website?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Okay, it's just a place you go for textiles and things like that from overseas. It's mostly China and the Middle East, and Alibaba sets it up to where you do the business on Alibaba. So just in case you do get scammed, Alibaba will cover that or resolve that. So when
Kind
I
of like a
first
middleman.
started, yeah, exactly. So
Middleman.
when I first started, all these companies were like, nah, let's do business on WhatsApp and then send the money through PayPal or Western Union. And obviously with PayPal, if you do friends and family, you're screwed if you get if you get scammed.
I know.
There's no getting your money back. So I was really concerned when I did that because it's a lot of money to ship out, to send to somebody you don't know and to hope that you get back what you paid for. But luckily with the guys I'm working with, we built that relationship now to where it's just like, bam, here's the Western Union. Give me my stuff.
I know we talked about this before we went live, but like, are you into other things other than what you put out? Like, are you into like sneakers? Are you into jerseys too? Or do you have any plans for the brand to kind of expand other than what you're
Oh,
currently putting out?
oh, I'm a sneakerhead for sure. I've been a sneakerhead since the 5th grade. Like into sneakers. Like I would spend my whole paycheck on sneakers. I got my first job to buy sneakers. Like,
There you
you
go.
know what I mean? So jerseys too. I had a whole collection of jerseys and whatnot. And the sneaker culture is a big influence on my brand too, because how I drop things, sometimes I schedule it around big releases, or like you've seen with the Mamba shorts, I'll infuse them and things like that. And as far as, and right now I'm in the bootleg tees too. So nice. I'm super trendy right now, and I just love the direction that the culture's going
It's
into with the
crazy.
bootleg tees
Yeah.
and the hoop shorts. You know what I mean? Like I hope that sticks around for a while because I'm liking it. And
Yeah.
I'm planning on doing some bootleg shirts in the future as well.
I remember like whenever I would go to like games and stuff like that, I remember going to Warriors games at Oracle Arena, and right there when you take the BART and you'd exit off, there'd be like people like who are obviously not affiliated with Oracle. They
Yeah,
a little
but they're
free.
selling shirts.
Yup, yup. And I remember they'd have. I remember when I went around the playoffs in '07 when they had the whole "We Believe" movement. And I remember this because I remember like there was a bunch of people selling bootleg Warriors tees, and
Hmm.
I was just like, man, who would buy that? Like, who would buy that shit? Sorry, excuse my language.
Yeah,
I was like, who the hell would buy this? It's so fake. And now I'm like looking back, and I'm like, yo, dude, those shirts were fire, dude. If I could go back in time, I'd literally clean them out, dude. Like, so
it's just
it's
funny how trends work like that.
yeah.
Everything comes back around.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy too, and I kind of see that coming back with the Jersey game. Not many people know about the Jersey game. They don't know the term Jersey head. They feel like, oh no, you got to rock your team. Don't wear anybody else. How
Well,
could
that ain't me.
nah, that ain't me either. And I get flack all the time, dude. Like for people, I'll be wearing a Kansas City Chiefs jersey, and people will be like, oh, like that's a dope looking 49ers jersey, like throwing jabs at me, friendly jabs, but it's just like
Yeah,
it's just one of those things where it's like you can't really it's hard to explain to a person, but I mean at the end of the day it's like part of the fashion trend.
it's the fashion. Like I got a Yankees hat on. I hate
Yeah,
the Yankees. I'm an A's fan. I'm a diehard A's fan, and I'm
right.
never, when Jeremy Giambi didn't slide and got tagged out by Derek Jeter in the playoffs, like I'll forever hate the Yankees for that. But it's a dope hat.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Yankees logo is just a timeless classic. Like I have a hat myself, a Yankees hat, and I'm a Giants fan, so um it's just one of those staple classics. And it's just like the same thing with the NBA, man. Like a lot of people wear Jordan jerseys, but they're not Bulls fans, or
Yep.
Kobe jerseys, but they're not Lakers fans. I'm one of those people because I'm a Dubs fan. But
Hmm.
it's cool because like that's the fashion, That's just the
Yeah.
culture of it. And that's what I love about the NBA is that like a lot of culture gets blended, like streetwear culture gets blended with the NBA. Because I feel like with the NBA, you could get away with it a little more than like other sports, so to speak. What are your favorite teams, if you don't mind me asking?
My favorite teams are the Lakers,
Okay.
the A's, and the Raiders. I got one team in each sport. That's it.
Do you
But
watch
I've been
do
a,
you watch hockey at all?
no, I don't. I do love going to Sharks games though, but I'm not a Sharks fan per se. I don't want to say that because like my brother plays hockey, my best friend plays hockey, and they're like,
Yeah.
they know all the players, they're invested. I don't want to say I'm a fan, but I do love going to the games.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's respect, man. I mean, I think I'm the same way. I mean, I'm probably like I'm a casual when it comes to hockey. You know, obviously, basketball is like my main sport. Then comes football, then baseball, then hockey. My dad does not understand hockey, and it's just like funny trying to explain to him like what the rules are, like what's a power. And like I had
Yeah.
to find out my own, because like when I was younger, my dad actually taught me like how the sport actually is played, like with basketball. Like, and when I was younger, I didn't know like what the rules were for football, so it was kind of like I had to learn through him. But
Yeah.
hockey is like is all just fair game. I had to learn on my own.
What made me like start to like it a little more was that when I went to the game, I had never really watched it on TV, but when I had went to the game, I saw how they were moving the puck around to
Yeah,
score, and I was like, "This is basketball. Like this is organized basketball. The way they're trying to swing the puck around and have someone dive towards the net and everything like that. It was just like basketball." So when I try to explain it to people if they don't know anything about hockey, I say, "Dude, it's just like '90s. It ain't basketball now." But
right.
it's like '90s organized basketball. You know what I mean? That's what made me like hockey because I was like, oh, so it made me understand it more. You know what I mean?
Well, I will say this, man, as a customer, a loyal customer, if you do decide to make some San Jose Sharks in the near future, sign me up because I definitely get a pair, man. If you make a set, I'll get them. Whatever you do, man, because I think that'd be super fire. I know that's kind of counterproductive since hockey's like in the ice and you're making shorts, but aside from all
Oh
that,
no, 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 dude! Trust me, I got designs where I've blended sports. Like I have things coming, and I have things that I'm working on that I'm doing that bring a lot of the worlds together and things like that. Because that's why I named my brand what I named my brand and didn't pigeonhole myself to like a basketball like brand name because I did want to do that. I knew I wanted to do that.
speaking of, I forgot to ask this earlier, but like the name 5TENCO, like where did that come from? Like, was that something like,
That's just 510 area code.
okay,
So I just called it 510. So like the co at the end is just the company, but the brand is 510. I just couldn't put that on my IG as 510 because someone had it.
yeah, yeah,
But the brand is 510. So that's just where it's just putting my where I come from, not on the map, but just representing. You know what I mean?
that's dope.
And it sounded dope to me. Yeah,
I didn't even know
people
that. I
didn't
was just
know
like,
that.
oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what's up, dude. Yeah, see, that's cool. That's why I like to have these types of conversations because it gets me to understand and kind of go in your brain and kind of pick at it a little bit to see where you're coming from and how you think.
Hmm.
That's dope. One thing I do want to like ask too is like the whole like industry of what you're doing for competition. So obviously there's people out there that are doing what you're doing, not like your same design and style per se, but more so just kind of like what you're putting out, like shorts, apparel, lifestyle brands. Like there's a lot of people out there that are doing it, but like what separates you from all those people?
It is just me, and I am a creative person. So anytime you're buying anything from someone creative, you're getting a piece of them in that. So it is unique to myself because you're getting a little me in those shorts. It's my designs, it's my brain thinking the way that I'm thinking. But one of the two main things I'd say that make me different that I try to stay true to are one, quality. Like I said earlier, I quality control everything. Like if there's a pair of dirt, like I got a pair of shorts in the other day from a brand. I'm not gonna say no names, and they came dirty,
Damn.
like stained dirty. Now, I'm an easy to please guy, so I'm not gonna go complain or anything like that. I'll just throw them in the wash. Doesn't matter.
Right.
But for me personally, when I get my shorts in through the mail that I'm shipping out to people, if they're dirty, I wash them. I make sure everything. I check the drawstrings. A lot of times, not a lot of times, but sometimes the drawstrings will be dirty, and I'll just wash them. I will go get that wash. Like I had a pair of shorts even that came. It was on the sun short. I don't know if they spilled coffee on it or something, but like it was just brown stain all right here.
Damn.
So I threw it in the I threw it in. I didn't even throw that one in the wash. I had my fiance hand wash that one and get it out nice and it was perfect. You know what I mean? But if I didn't quality control, someone would be getting some coffee stained shorts on.
Damn.
So that and and sometimes there's holes in pockets. Sometimes things aren't stitched properly. It happens. You know what I mean? It's small. Not only am I a small business, but the manufacturers in the Middle East or Pakistan even they're small. They're small businesses too. There's just a few people walking around with no shoes. Like literally, they're not even wearing shoes. I don't know if that's a cultural thing or not, but
Oh
I don't
no.
know what I don't know what's going on over there. But they make mistakes too. So maintaining good quality control to make sure my customers get the best product that they can get is one thing. And then another thing I would say is inclusivity. A lot of brands like to go the exclusive market. It's good. It's good branding. It's good hype, building hype. Selling out shorts fast and all those things. And I've had to release shorts that weren't pre-orders before, but I didn't like the feeling of all those DMs I got of people upset that they couldn't get a pair. So what I mean by inclusivity is that everyone can get them. You know,
Yeah.
I try to make it to where even I am going to release some shorts in the near future that are not pre-orders, but I'm making sure that I'm buying enough because I know what my numbers are. You know what I'm saying? And what a lot of brands will do is they'll know what their numbers are and order under so they can sell out fast to build that hype. I don't want to do that. I don't like that feeling because me as a sneakerhead, that makes me not like sneakers.
Yep.
I take L's every Saturday and I hate it. And I don't want to take L's on basketball shorts. I think that's ridiculous.
We're on the same boat, brother. Trust
bro,
me.
bro, it literally made me not buy shoes for a decade. Literally just didn't buy shoes. Just said, you know what? I'll just get whatever's at the outlets
Yeah.
because I can't stand that part of the culture. I don't like it at all. Not knocking other people that do it because I know why they do it and they can be successful doing it. But me personally, I don't like taking L's and I don't want people taking L's, especially on basketball shorts. I think that's a little ridiculous. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to maintain both of those things as I grow.
That's real, bro. Salute to you on that, man. Because trust me, like L season is like year long, man, year round,
Bro,
every freaking week. And it doesn't help now that Nike and sneakers app or whatever is like putting out sneakers almost every day now. Like I used to be a big dunk guy. I was always into Nike dunks and then the SBs. And then, obviously they blew up, in the last few years or so. And it's like I can't even get a pair of dunks for $100 anymore. Like I always have to have this mentality where it's like, okay, they're $100. How much am I going to put on top to get those? Because I'm already anticipating an L. And
that's when I knew that it was ridiculous, is when I saw dunks, like
yeah,
regular dunks. No one cared about regular dunks,
right.
bro. No one cared about the answers came out. The Reebok answers came out that I was looking forward to buying. They sold out and went on StockX. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't understand that. All of these shoes that never would sell out back in the day are selling out now. Doesn't make any sense.
Where do you see the brand like 10 to 15 years from now? I know you obviously don't know the future, but based on kind of like what you're envisioning, like where would you like to see the brand?
For brands and streetwear and stuff like that, you could say this is streetwear. Longevity is rare. It's difficult. You know what I'm saying? So I'd like to sit here and say, oh, my brand's gonna be the hundreds. My brand is gonna be, you know what I'm saying? But I've been in the streetwear game for a long time. I'd go to Huff every other day in San Francisco. You know what I mean? I'd hit up all those True on all the stores on Hate I'd go to. So I've seen brands come and go, brands that you think are gonna stick around forever. Like I don't know if you're ever familiar with Lamar and Dolly. They used to do they did some dope NBA stuff back in the day and they just disappeared. No one. So for me personally, the long term, I know that I'm not going to blow my money. I'm going to try to invest it in personally, just for me personally, I'm going to invest it in real estate, but I do hope to maintain my brand and stick around for that long. But I'm going to prepare just in case that it doesn't, you know what I mean?
Of course. You always want to have a plan B.
For sure, for sure. You'd be surprised how many people don't. A lot of people come out with their, like, they'll start a clothing line and they'll tell everyone they're going to be the next Louis Vuitton or some shit like that. And that's, I understand that that's very rare. You know what I mean? It's very rare to catch a break like that and to keep going.
Right, right. What can we expect from 5TENCO and you?
There'll be expansion on the brand in terms of like other products that I'm going to be offering. I don't want to say too much, but I'm going to do some socks soon.
Okay.
I'm coming out with some socks. I'm making some permanent changes to the brand. I think you saw earlier, right? I showed you a little earlier.
Yep, yep.
The embroidery. Making some changes to the brand a little bit just for my own brand recognition as I grow, because it's growing fast and I wasn't expecting that. But in the near future, I'll be doing pop-ups. I'm working with a store, a consignment store out of Stone Ridge right now.
All right.
My homie Pat owns it. Might be doing a pop-up there in like August. So a lot of pop-ups, collaboration, Twitch streams. I'm hoping to get my Twitch up again, but this time it's gonna be, you know, I'll probably do some gaming on there too, depending on if the people want to see me game.
Right.
But it'll mostly be for the shorts and whatnot.
All right, man. Well, yeah, this has been a real deep and meaningful conversation, man. We are running out of time, unfortunately. I wish I could talk with you all night, but I know you probably got a lot of other busy things that you need to tend to. But before I let you go, man, do you have any final thoughts or anything that you wanted to say?
Well, yeah, I wanted to, you know, personally thank you for inviting me on. It's been a pleasure. This was fun. I really love doing this kind of stuff. So anytime you want to do this again, I'm down, and I can talk for as long as you want to talk for. We could shoot it about whatever. Even if you want to talk about jerseys, I have a nice jersey collection too.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
It's nothing like yours, but I have a few that I'm proud to own.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, thank you for having me on, and to anyone watching who is a supporter or in the future will be a supporter, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys, because I couldn't do this without you guys. You know, I started this doing pre-orders because I didn't want to invest too much money because I didn't know how things were going to go. But you know, the support has been so crazy, and it's what's kept me going and made me work harder, man. I'm up late every night busting my ass. You know, running your own business, you know, you really got to grind, and I'm grinding every night, and it's because of the people. You know, they motivate me to continue and keep going. So thank you to everybody for that.
All right, man. And it is always a pleasure to have great people on this little session that I created for you guys here. Please go check out the homie. I will leave his link in the description below. You can check him out on IG. Do you have any other like social media platforms that I'm not aware of? Or?
No, and what's funny is I was gonna do that today. I was gonna put the Facebook together and the Twitter and stuff. So when I do that, we'll have all that out there. But right now it's just Instagram.
Well, I'll leave his Instagram in the link below. Check him out, man. He has some dope product, you know, and you heard it from him himself. 5TENCO. Salute to you, homie. I wish you all the best. And if there's anything you need, you already know who to reach out to, man.
Right on, man. Appreciate it.